this point, we are now established in the northwest practice area. Right now, we are currently heading north 2,500 feet, 90 knots. We'll begin the Highwork Maneuvers. Starting with level speed change, first you want to make sure if any clearing turns are required. Alright. We'll be executing a clearing turn to the left, to the west, and then back to the right for the north. Coming left. Alright, area's cleared to the west, coming back right to the north. Alright, clearing turns are complete. Pre-maneuver checklist. Fuel selectors both. Make sure it's coming to full rich. Landing light is on. Pre-maneuver checklist complete. We start with the level speed change. Alright, first thing you want to do is make sure you are established on parameters before you begin the maneuver. 2,500 feet, heading northbound at 90 knots. Alright, you want to choose outside, look for a visual reference point that's going to assist with you maintaining directional heading. Alright, beginning with the procedures, carb heat is coming on. Throttle coming back to 1,500 RPM. Alright, our nose attitude is going to be as required to maintain your altitude. We got airspeed in the white arc, flaps coming down, all the way full. Alright, a little bit more power to make sure we maintain that 1,500 feet. Alright, as we approach 55 knots, we're going to go to approximately 2,000 RPM, might require less. As we put in more power, you might need a little bit of right ball to get that heading controlled. Back to north, looking good. Coordinated flight, ball is centered. We're at 60 knots currently, maintaining the 2,500 feet. You see a slight climb in here. I'm going to take some power out, maintain my altitude. So now power is controlling my altitude, and my pitch is going to be controlling my airspeed. Alright, keeping the scan, looking for north. I got my visual reference point outside. Looking inside, make sure we're good on airspeed, 2,500 feet, and heading northbound. Alright, then you're going to do a clearing turn, either left or right, depending on the instructor. Will be a right turn back to the east, maintaining that 2,500 feet. Will be a shallow angle bank here for the slow flight. You want to maintain above 55 knots, so no slower than 55 and no faster than 65 throughout the maneuver. Alright, as I look for my east reference point, I chose it outside, still looking outside, and cross-checking your instruments inside to make sure that you're still within the parameters. Alright, I'm facing east, now coming back to the north. Coming left. Alright, there's my north heading. Checking again, my instruments, 2,500 feet, about 61, 62 knots, northbound heading. And we're going to go ahead and recover. Alright, so throttle's coming to full. Heartbeat's coming off. And flaps will go up incrementally, 30 to 20 degrees. Alright, again, nose attitude, you're going to hold to maintain that altitude. Flaps coming 20 to 10. And 10 to 0. Alright, we're going to get back to 90 knots. So we're going to set that cruise setting. Maintain at 90 knots, back to cruise, maintaining north. And then power attitude trim. Trim the aircraft back to 2,500 feet, 90 knots, heading northbound. Alright, we're going to save our post-maneuver checklist till we're complete with all the high work maneuvers. Alright, next maneuver is going to be the power off stall. Alright, so we'll do our pre-maneuver checklist. Fuel selectors both. Make sure it's full rich. Landing lights on. First, you're going to need clearing turns as required. We're going to do a clearing turn here to the left, to the west. Alright, coming back to the north. Alright, clearing turns are complete. Make sure we're set up in parameters 90 knots. Heading northbound, 2,500 feet. Alright, first step. Power off stall, carb heat's coming on. Throttle's coming to idle. Alright, we're going to hold the attitude here, let the airspeed bleed off, white arc, and the airspeed go on full flaps. Alright, then we're going to go ahead and establish ourselves on a 65 knot descent. Alright, so 65 knots, trim it out for 65. Alright, so about 200 feet loss, we're going to go ahead and raise the nose 5 to 10 degrees. Alright, there's the horn, relax, max. Carvey's off, level, ball. And we got a positive airspeed and altitude. Flaps coming incrementally from 30 to 20. Alright, 20 to 10. And then 10 to 0, establishing myself on a 73 knot climb back to our 500 foot increment, so 2,500 feet. Leveling off at 2,500 feet. And letting my airspeed get back to 90 before taking out the power. Back to the cruise setting. Alright, things to note with the power off stall or any of the maneuvers here, when you're manipulating from a high power situation to low power situation, you want to make sure you get that ball anticipation ready to go. So if I'm taking power out, you know you're going to need the left ball to remain in coordinated flight, and then as you put power in, you need right ball to get back into coordinated flight. Alright, it's 2,500 feet, 90 knots, northbound. Pre-maneuver checklist, fuel selectors both, make sure it's full rich, landing lights on. We're going to do a clearing turn to the right, to the west. Alright, we're cleared, turn to the west. Alright, and then we're going to make sure we're established in parameters before beginning the maneuver. Alright, so 2,500 feet, westbound, 90 knots. Alright, this will be the power on stall. RB comes on, throttle's coming back to 1,000 RPM. You're going to hold your nose, attitude, level. We're going to let the airspeed bleed off. Alright, approaching 65 knots. We're going to go ahead and put 2,000 RPM carpeet's coming on. We're going to raise the nose to 15, 20 degrees. Sure, we're at 2,000 RPM. A little bit of right rudder. There's the horn. Relax. Max. Level. Ball. And then we will recover, climb it back up to 500, our next 500 foot increment to 4,000. But for training purposes, we'll stay at 3,500 feet. So I'll be descending. Alright, this will be the turn pattern. Pre-maneuver checklist, fuel selector both, make sure full rich, landing light is on. Make sure we're established on the set parameters, 2,500 feet, 3,500 feet, 360 at 90 knots. Coming right, 15 degrees angle bank for 30 degrees. Five degrees prior coming left. Degrees prior coming right. Now it's going to be 30 degree angle of bank turn for 90 degrees. Turn prior. Coming back left. 30 degree angle of bank turn for 90 degrees. Alright, there's northbound coming right. Be a 45 degree angle of bank turn. 480 degrees. Alright. And make sure we're established back at north, 2,500 feet, 90 knots. That completes all the high work. Go ahead and do our post-maneuver checklist. Alright, throttle set to 2,300 RPM for our cruise setting. Carpet is off, make sure we're going to lean it out. Flight instruments. Alright, we're going to recage our heading indicator here, so 030 showing on the magnetic compass. And line light coming off. Post-maneuver checklist complete.